Guys, we can't hardly eat enough salad to keep up with this. It's doing really well. Well, our winter came back. It is really chilly outside, just right above freezing. And I just ducked into the greenhouse because I came out to shoot a video and it started to rain. So we'll just wait for that to pass. I don't think it's supposed to rain very heavily or for very long. And I wanted to take you guys around and we're gonna say hi to the animals. I keep coming out and having to further thin my seedlings because apparently like every seed that I put in here germinated. Not a bad problem to have. I probably will be a little more sparing in sowing them next time. I just was like, oh, I want to make sure that we have enough, and we have plenty. Need to clean up my greenhouse. It's kind of a mess. Boxes all around. I was just talking with Ben Turn about establishing our perennial / cottage garden space. I've been watching lots of videos and reading different articles about designing spaces like this, and I'm really excited. I have to lay down being a perfectionist when it comes to stuff like this, because I will cripple myself into inactivity by getting an idea in my mind of how I want it to be, and then like doing nothing because I can't do it exactly how I want to, if that makes any sense. Some of you may know exactly what I'm talking about. So I kind of have to be like, I have to set 2-3 year goals rather than being like, I want it to be like this now. So I'm trying to get kind of the overall vision of what I want this space to look like, and then line out some realistic steps to get there, and like what I need to do this year and what I need to let go of. We ordered our berry bushes and some things like that from Stark Brothers, and I think what I'm gonna do is get a good measurement of this space, and for once I'm gonna get some paper out and start drawing like a general idea of how I want it to go. We're about to get some really cold days. I mean, cold for us, not for those of you who actually live in places where it's actually cold. But after the cold days pass, we're going to tackle getting started on that space. Our hope is to have it largely in by the middle of March to the beginning of April, is of course whenever our frost threat is over, and that's kind of the goal. I'm super excited. Look at the confused ground growing green again. That will be over here soon. Hey ladies. Oh, they're all huddled up and cold. Bear, you want to come with me? Are you excited? Oh, you're so I love you too. It's actually 2 years ago today that I got Bear. He's just a wee little guy. Hey y'all. Hey little ones. Good morning. I don't have any snacks this time. I don't have any treats this time. Been trying to bring them treats so we can be friends. Hey Doris. Hey Doris girl. So this is the size that Clementine and Fanny were when we got them. They were like 3.5 months old, and that's about what these little ones are. And so it gives you kind of an idea. They were stocky little things, and they're super fast. Like, I could not catch those pigs right now if I tried. They're really fast. They're really hard to get a hold of, so they're so compact and so strong. And we drove to Missouri to pick up Fanny and Clem and Gerard, and drove home. It was like 2 in the morning when we got home, so we're driving straight through, trying to get back. Our kids were here to my sister, and in unloading them, one of the girls, I can't remember which one it was, got away from us, and of course this is a brand new place for her, and she took off into the woods. It was before our woods were cleared, and we spent all night chasing this pig. You know, her chances of coming back or surviving were really slim if we left her out overnight. And so we stayed up and at 5:30 in the morning we finally cornered her in the field next door, not our field. And basically it ended up being Jeremiah cornering her and me taking my shirt off and holding it out like a matador, and Jeremiah tackling his entire body and like on top of this pig. It was really rough, and to this day that is the worst day we've ever had as pig farmers, was our very first day. And so it was really hard. Like the day of, we were thinking, what have we gotten ourselves into? But now, a year and a half later, we look at that and we think, well, you know, I mean, I guess it's not a bad run if your worst day is your first day. And then from then on out, it's up from there. Seeing these babies this size, it just reminds me of that, because this is exactly what they looked like when we first got them. And these little guys have started venturing out of the barn. Hey mommy, you smacking? Obviously it's a little cold for them. They're kind of shaking, but they can go back in where it's warm if they want to. Hey! They are incredibly cute. And Miss Fanny is finally putting some weight back on after being separate from the babies. We went ahead and helped her wean them. She was trying to kick them off, but she really needed to gain some weight. Hey little buddies. Hey, don't be scared, it's okay. Thankfully, all of the babies from this litter have been healthy, and it's been really nice that even though they were born in the middle of winter, we had some unseasonably warm temperatures, and now that it's going to start getting cold again, they've actually started putting a little bit of fur on, and they'll be fine. This breed of pig, Mangalitsa's, obviously are well known for their curly, sheep-looking hair. They don't feel like sheep. We get asked that a lot. People say, are you able to harvest the fiber? It feels like pig hair. It's very coarse, but it is curly, and it looks super soft and curly. They're not soft, but they are very, very adapted for dealing with cold weather. They do completely fine in the winter. We were really concerned with her having these babies. We didn't intend for them to be bred this late. We thought that she'd gotten bred earlier, obviously. But they're fine. And our friend Kaylee, who keeps Mangalitsa's, she's the Honeystead on YouTube, she told us that they would be fine. We're going to try to keep them from getting bred for this time of year again, though, just because it's safe. Be on the safer side, and that's how we would rather do it. Hey Gabriel. Oh, bear, back up. Let me give Gabe some nubbins. Yes sir. Hey buddy. Hey good boy. The grass has started growing again in this warm weather, but once it gets cold, it'll stop again. I was looking out my bedroom window this morning at the farm, and I was like, man, I'm really ready for spring, for the grass to grow again. And I was thinking how funny of a change that is, because when we lived in town and had to mow the lawn, we eagerly awaited the fall when the grass would stop growing like crazy. And now that I have animals that thrive on graze, I'm looking out the window wishing it would start growing like crazy again. Hey beautiful girl, how are you? Hey my smiley Miriam. I love you. I've just been coming out here and hanging out with my goatee girls, just sitting with them and talking with them. I do love my goats. Hello Magdalene. Hello Maggie girl. Hey Charity. Margot here, she's still a little bit wild. She is Maggie's baby, and she was dam raised, so she didn't get handled a whole lot when she was little, so she actually does not let me touch her. And Mabel here, she was also dam raised, but we've handled her maybe a little bit more. I actually genuinely adore goats in a massive way. Hey Anna girl. I did this thing on my Instagram yesterday where it's like you can let people ask you questions and then answer them. And one of the questions was, what, aside from the garden, is your favorite part of having a homestead? Or something like that. And it's kind of funny because our channel has become so garden centric, and I am very, very passionate about the garden. I love the garden. But the garden was a little bit of a surprise passion for me. I did not get into homesteading as a gardener that wanted to grow food and then eventually got into animals. I actually grew up wanting a farm and wanting to keep animals, and so goats were on the list of like the animals that I really wanted. And we've had goats now for going on 5 years, so we've been in it for a little while. About 3 that we've been breeding them, because we started with some bottle babies. Maggie and Miriam were my first goats, and they were young when we got them. But I really love goats, and this comes up a lot because people talk about keeping dairy animals and whether, you know, a goat or a cow, and people always say, well, why did you get goats instead of a cow? And the answer to that was really that our property was just much more suited for goats. It was very wooded. We only have 4 acres. We just didn't have the infrastructure to really support a cow in a healthy way. And so we went for goats. I would love to have cows someday. I would love to have dairy cows. Probably it won't be while we live here, because we definitely have learned more and are steadily moving toward some of the practices that Joel Salatin teaches, and pasturing and rotational grazing and all of that stuff. But we've learned that as we've started. We didn't start this with any farming experience whatsoever. However, I think I'll always have goats in some capacity. So I just noticed that Mayhem was kind of hunched up and snuggling with Nestle, and Miriam was over here snuggling, and it immediately, like, I turn around and I'm like, are you okay? Because whenever you see a goat all fluffed up and hunched over, if it's not a cold front coming in, that's like very alarming. But it's dropped several degrees since I walked outside with the camera, and I can hear thunder in the distance. So there's just the cold front that we've been expecting is rolling in, and so the goats are kind of coming in and huddling up. The chickens were huddled up. Day before yesterday was 72 degrees, so it literally felt like a warm spring day. And now all the animals who didn't get the forecast and know that this was coming are like, what is going on? Hey, Ruth. Ruth is Nestle's baby. This is baby Ruth. She was born last year, and I love seeing her with her mama. They're still super close. They snuggle a lot, and she's always at her mama's side, even though she's obviously been weaned a long time. You got a sweet baby girl, don't you, Ness? Hey, little darlings, y'all hanging out at the hay? Hey. Hey, little love. Hey. Hey, love. Sweet baby. Gabe has started staying full-time in with the ladies, and he's doing a really good job. I'm gonna head inside before this rain comes and catches me out. So the weather has started, and so I am glad to be inside. Got the fire going. Got Ezzy right here having his tablet time on the couch behind me. And I'm actually going to be shooting another video today, which you guys will see later, about my favorite tomato varieties. And I'm making a running list of videos that I'm going to be doing this spring. I've got several already scheduled out over the next few weeks, and things that I want to talk to you guys about. But if there's anything that you were hoping to hear us talk about, or you were wondering, anything like that, please feel free to leave a comment down below. I always appreciate that kind of feedback. We've taken it really slow over the winter as far as creating content, but of course we are coming into the time of year that is our very busy season, from like middle of February into probably like July, August, when it starts getting way too hot to do a whole lot. Obviously that's full swing season on the farm. Spring just sneaks up on you. And for those of you who are getting into homesteading, and for those of you who've been doing it for a long time, here's the reminder: rest now, because the season is very near, where the hours will be very long and the work will be very hard, and you'll go, wait a second, wasn't I just wishing for this? I have to remind myself that the longer that I do this, the easier it is to remind myself that now is the time to take advantage of rest. So please let me know what you would love to see on the channel, the kind of videos that you like or questions that you may have. I'm doing some different teaching videos and stuff like that, but we try to live in a glass house and share our lives pretty openly. So I would love to get some feedback. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out with me today. I bless you. Until next time.